Jenny and Mark had been meticulously saving for 5 years, pouring every ounce of their dedication into amassing $50,000 for a down payment on their dream house. Each month, they budgeted carefully, sacrificing luxuries for the promise of a future home where they could start a family and build lasting memories. Their dream house fund was a symbol of their shared commitment and love. Jenny worked as a nurse, often pulling long night shifts at the hospital, while Mark was a software engineer, frequently working late into the night to finish projects. Despite their demanding schedules, they always found time for each other, discussing their plans for the future and imagining the life they would build together. One sunny Saturday morning, Jenny decided to check their joint savings account. With the excitement of a child on Christmas morning, she logged into the online banking app on her phone, her heart fluttering with anticipation. As the screen loaded, her excitement turned to confusion and then to dread. The balance was shockingly low. Frantically, she scrolled through the recent transactions and saw a withdrawal of $50,000. Her heart pounded in her chest as she tried to make sense of what she was seeing. Fighting back tears, Jenny immediately called Mark, who was at his parents' house helping them with some repairs. When he answered, his voice was cheerful, but Jenny's was strained with anxiety and confusion. "Mark, can you explain why $50,000 is missing from our savings account?" she asked, her voice trembling. There was a long pause on the other end of the line. "Jenny, I was going to tell you. My parents needed the money. They were in a tight spot, and I had to help them out." Jenny felt as though the ground had been pulled from beneath her feet. "You gave our house savings to your parents without even discussing it with me? That money was for our future, Mark." Mark's voice turned defensive. "They're my parents, Jenny. They needed help. What was I supposed to do? Just let them suffer?" Jenny's mind raced. She had always known that Mark had a strong sense of duty towards his family, but this was too much. "We could have found another way, Mark. We should have talked about it. This was a decision we should have made together." The rest of the conversation was a blur of anger, disappointment, and hurt. Jenny felt betrayed. She had always believed that they were a team, but Mark had made a unilateral decision that jeopardized their dreams. That night, she slept in the guest room, unable to bear being near him. Over the next few days, the tension between them grew. Mark tried to justify his actions, explaining how desperate his parents had been, but Jenny couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. She started to question their relationship, wondering if they could ever recover from this. Jenny sought advice from her best friend Rachel, who suggested couples therapy. Reluctantly, Mark agreed, and they started seeing a therapist. Through therapy, they began to understand each other's perspectives better. Jenny learned about the immense pressure Mark had felt to support his parents, while Mark realized the depth of Jenny's hurt and disappointment. Their therapist, Dr. Thompson, helped them navigate their emotions and communicate more effectively. In one session, Mark opened up about his upbringing, revealing how his parents had always struggled financially, and how he felt a deep sense of responsibility to support them. Jenny, in turn, shared how she had always dreamed of having a stable home, something she never had growing up in a series of rented apartments. It was a long, difficult journey, but gradually, they began to rebuild their trust. They started a new savings plan, and this time, they were more communicative and transparent about their finances. Mark promised never to make such a significant decision without consulting Jenny again. As they continued therapy, Jenny and Mark worked on rebuilding their connection. They started spending more quality time together, revisiting the things that had brought them joy in the early days of their relationship. They went on hikes, cooked meals together, and planned weekend getaways to reconnect and strengthen their bond. A year later, they had managed to save enough for a down payment on a modest house. It wasn't the grand dream home they had originally envisioned, but it was a start. They moved in and began to create new memories, stronger for the trials they had endured. Their first night in the new house was filled with laughter and hope as they toasted to their future with glasses of cheap champagne. Jenny still felt a twinge of sadness when she thought about the lost savings, but she had learned to forgive and move forward. She and Mark had faced a major crisis and had come out the other side with a deeper understanding of each other. Their love had been tested, but it had also been strengthened. In the months that followed, Jenny and Mark continued to work on their relationship. They joined a local community center and participated in activities together, from gardening to dance classes. They made new friends and built a support network that helped them stay grounded. Jenny also reconnected with her own family, finding solace in their support and understanding. She realized that her relationship with Mark had not only brought her closer to him, but also to her own roots. As the seasons changed, so did their lives. The modest house became a warm and loving home. They painted the walls together, planted a garden in the backyard, and adopted a rescue dog named Max, who brought endless joy and laughter into their lives. Mark's parents, grateful for the help they had received, began to recover financially. They also made efforts to repay Mark and Jenny, contributing to the couple's savings whenever they could. This gesture helped mend the strained relationship between Jenny and her in-laws, fostering a sense of mutual respect and understanding. One evening, as they sat on their porch watching the sunset, Jenny turned to Mark and took his hand. "We've been through a lot, haven't we?" Mark squeezed her hand gently. "Yes, we have. But I'm grateful for every moment because it's brought us to where we are now." Jenny smiled, feeling a sense of peace wash over her. "I am too. We've built something strong, something real, and that's worth more than any house." In the end, Jenny realized that while the road to their dream had been diverted, it had led them to a place where their bond was more resilient than ever. They had learned to communicate, to support each other, and to find joy in the simple things. Their journey had been difficult, but it had also been beautiful. As they watched the sun dip below the horizon, Jenny knew that their future was bright. They had each other, and that was the most valuable thing of all. Jenny and Mark have spent 5 years saving diligently for their dream home, a symbol of their shared future and love. But their world is turned upside down when Jenny discovers that Mark has given their $50,000 savings to his parents without consulting her. Feeling betrayed and hurt, Jenny struggles to understand Mark's sense of duty toward his family. As tensions rise and their relationship is tested, they seek the help of a therapist to navigate their emotions and rebuild trust. Through a journey of difficult conversations and rediscovered love, Jenny and Mark work towards a new beginning. Together, they learn the true meaning of commitment, resilience, and the strength of their bond. Can they overcome this betrayal and build a future stronger than before?